All right, we are live. Hey, everybody. Good morning, Steve Maria, good friend, Doug, the BTC guru Yates.
Hello, Steve. Good morning.
What's happening, Doug?
Man, another beautiful day in the blockchain Bitcoin world.
It really is, isn't it? I just watched a interview with Mark Cuban,
Yeah.
and, he was talking about, he talks about his love for Ethereum. And, it's cool because, when you go through and you read through the whole thing, they're talking about, he just believes that Ethereum is just amazing. And he says, but then he also says that he has 60% of his portfolios in Bitcoin, 30% in Ethereum, and then 10% is others, right? So as much as he loves Ethereum, he loves Bitcoin twice as much, evidently.
Yeah. We can talk about that because that's an interesting subject, is what's the difference? And I read an article, a lady today, I was reading, she's predicting some price of Ethereum, and it's at every day it gets a new all-time high. It's
right.
It's a great, in my mind, it's a great shorter term type of investment. Not that I'm giving advice or anything, but I think shorter term, it's a good investment. She was talking about, I think it's going to go to 3,000 and then 4,000 and so on. And her whole point was, Ethereum is different than Bitcoin because Bitcoin is more a storage of wealth. And Ethereum's more operational day-to-day type of stuff, which in at a very high level, yeah, you can look at it that way. But with the improvements they're doing with the Lightning Network and stuff on the Bitcoin blockchain, Bitcoin's both. Bitcoin has an incredible network. Everything's paired with Bitcoin for a reason, right?
Right.
That blockchain is the original blockchain. That's why when I say paired, all these other coins, including Ethereum, all these coins that came after Bitcoin, because Bitcoin started the whole thing, are always paired where you buy and sell them in Bitcoin. They're always referenced in Bitcoin. And then a lot of alternate coins that run on the Ethereum network are paired, are referenced with Ethereum. But Bitcoin is the big one on the block, the first one out. It's very simple. They're not trying to get fancy with it. There's limited supply, and that's one knock about Ethereum is unlimited supply, right?
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's the other thing that Mark Cuban, he was saying. He considers Ethereum more like a currency than he does Bitcoin as a store of value. And he said, when they started talking about Bitcoin being a currency, back in years ago, right? He didn't buy off on that, but he always believed it was a store of value just because of the limited amount. Like he says, it's like a baseball card or anything that's got just a limited amount of them that were made. Is if there's any more supply than there is demand, I mean, you're always going to have tremendously high value there with it. So
right,
it's cool to hear him. The other, it's interesting. Also, I saw another Shark Tank guy, Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, Kevin
in the news,
Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful. And he was saying how Ethereum is amazing. It's totally, it's amazing, but it'll always be number 2 to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
He says it'll always be number 2 to Bitcoin. And he said, Bitcoin is the gold and Ethereum is the silver, and being the silver is not bad. He says, but it's not the gold. There's just so much value to being there first and having that, again, the limited supply. But it was interesting also because he has 3% of his entire portfolio in Bitcoin. Okay. 3% of his entire portfolio. So, and that's not digital currency. I mean, because Cuban has his kind of broken up. So, whatever he does on the other side, he's got 3% of everything he's got since 2017 in Bitcoin. So,
yeah, well, smart man.
That's a substantial investment,
yeah.
Right? What percentage of it was Tesla's cash when they put a percentage of their cash in? Wasn't it just like 2% or something?
Yeah, it was 2 or 3%.
Yeah, it was just a couple percent of their actual cash on hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, lots of cool stuff out there.
Yeah, and then another article that jumped out to me too is JP Morgan. They announced that this quarter they're onboarding their high-end clients to their cryptocurrency Bitcoin product, right?
Right.
But so they still haven't released it, which I think is hilarious.
Right.
So So their high-end clients has missed a great growth opportunity this year because they haven't released it yet. They're still tinkering with it, whatever that means. And it's hilarious because it takes like 10 minutes to go open up an account on an exchange and buy some Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean,
what they're trying to do, what they can't figure out how to do with a lot of these things is, because they've got to actually, be buying a certain amount of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And they're always going to have, it's always going to cost. They're still buying it the same. They don't get to go buy it at a discount anywhere. Right. They got to buy it at the market rate. So it's not like typically they get big deep discounts when they go buy other stuff and package them together.
Yeah.
Right. So now they're trying to figure out, how do we tell people that, you put in this percentage, but your percentage is way lower than if you went over and just bought it yourself. How do we sell that?
Yep.
I think that's the problem because, typically they package up so many things in there that nobody knows anything about or what they really are. Okay. That these brokers all bought at deeply discounted type things. Right.
Yeah.
And, so then it's easy to sell it. Right. But, I've wondered myself, it's like, wait a minute. Okay. Put one of those. Yeah. It sounds, interesting, but you can't buy it in bulk. It's like, and nobody's going to just give you a big discount because you bought a whole bunch of it. That'd be stupid.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's like, how are you really going to package that and sell it as a wonderful thing? It's because, part of the whole process is their magic, it's the magic, right? What's, what all is in here.
Yeah. They're doing something special behind the scenes to get me a better deal than the other guy.
Right. So now they're trying, what else are they going to be adding that's kind of blind? Okay. Maybe they're going to throw some mining in there. Okay. Maybe they're going to put some mining in and be mining maybe for some other, Ethereum and some other altcoins they got to figure out how to put something that could be but's kind of got some blind spots in it, or it's going to be really hard to sell to the public.
Yeah. It is. And I'll tell you, I met a gentleman on the plane who happened to go into the same conference I was going to over the weekend. And he runs a capital, a cryptocurrency investment program. Right. And his value add, like I was talking about it, I go, why would people do this? He goes, well, they signed a huge deal with Lloyd's of London for insurance on it to basically guarantee that you're not going to lose your cryptocurrency through insurance. I go, okay, that's good. That is something that you got to be careful with people stealing your wallet or whatever. And so that's a value add. I would pay for that. And then he says they also do, they do arbitration and some high end, like all Forex techniques to increase the to flatten out the peaks and valleys of the volatility in Bitcoin. I go, okay. That's nothing, and it's basically not guaranteed, but it's insured up to a point. So your downside is very limited. And I'm like, okay, so that it actually is intriguing to me.
It is.
Like if I was going to put my money there, I would do that because those are two things that maybe I don't want to worry about. I can just set some money over there, and then let them take care of it. And be as secure as possible in this world. So there are things you can do, and like what you're saying, I think JP Morgan is just still trying to figure it out, which is funny. But just go open a freaking exchange account at Gemini or something, and hook it up to your account. It takes 2 minutes, and buy some Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah. Because if you think about it, it's like, if one of these funds is going to be insured like that, what's the insurance company? What, they just lock the code in the safe deposit box, and it's like, it's like, it's kind of like that's not that. That's cool. It's kind of a cool value add, but it's like there's not really much behind that. There's not really that much risk of it like just disappearing if somebody just takes care of the wallet, right? So again, they're trying to come up with something that seems to be more magical, and the average consumer out there, I think, would think that is way more than what it really is, right?
Well, if you look at the point of view as on the level of risk as far as wallet goes, these digital wallets is where you hold cryptocurrency. Right. And the most secure one is one that you have on, not your mobile device, but on like a laptop that you only plug in to do to move it or buy it and put it in that wallet and unplug it.
Right.
That's pretty much the most secure. So you're limited the risk with the time that you're plugged into the internet. But if you're going to go to a cloud wallet, which a lot of exchanges, it's their wallet. They're holding your Bitcoin in their wallet.
Right.
And you're trusting them that they're going to safeguard it and not give it to somebody else, and so on and so on. So that's where I can see, there's a risk there. And if you write an insurance policy that says that if that gets lost or stolen, then we'll replace that value of whatever that is. I can understand that part. So, there's gives and takes with liberty and freedom. We give up some of our liberty and freedom to get cool services in the United States. And to a point, that's great. But then, you got to be careful that you don't give up too much. But I'm not going to go down that path this morning. It's too heavy for the morning.
On those funds, though, wouldn't they be just really having, if that was like a fund that had all of the digital coin, had everything in it, it's really only one wallet.
It could be, it could be one wallet.
It could literally it's more than likely just going to be one wallet that's everybody has that knows what they own, right? So that's why I'm saying it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll insure that. It's pretty easy to do.
Right,
you just have one wallet. No matter what the whole deal is, it's just still one wallet. It's not like people individually can go out and fuck it up.
Right.
True,
but you're just hoping that that manager of that one wallet doesn't go weird on you, doesn't go sideways on you.
Well, yeah, and that's where, that's like I say, I'm sure it couldn't cost a lot of money to have an insurance company or a really good fiduciary just put that thing in their safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, I think the point of this conversation is, if you're gonna, you can do it yourself. Obviously, we're here to help you do that. It's very simple. Secondly, if you're going to do that, just pay attention. Read the fine print. Make sure they got safeguards in place. One thing that I love about Gemini Exchange is they have 4 or 5 firewalls, and this has happened. And I've been using them for probably 5 years, since they started.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened in the first firewall. They let whoever's going to attack get through it, and they watch them. They figure out, okay, they got through, so we got to figure out how they did that so we can stop it. And then as soon as they try to get through the second firewall, they pull the plug and they get off the internet. And they did this once about 3 years ago, that they were getting attacked. They pulled the plug. They're down, I don't know, probably 9 hours. They fixed the problem and came back up. So, that's good. You can pay attention to this kind of stuff. If you're going to use, you have to use an exchange if you're going to deal in the fiat world, which we all have to because we got to pay our bills that way.
Right.
Just pay attention and don't don't go to the exchanges that just maybe come up. You just pay attention. Read the fine print, read their security policies and stuff like that. Or ask somebody that you respect that is more knowledgeable. Have they reviewed this and get opinions out there.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, probably again we're not going to give you financial advice in any stretch of the imagination, but I would always make sure that I keep the most of mine in my own wallet and not on an exchange. Just because we have to use exchanges doesn't mean we have to stay with the exchanges.
Right.
So,
I think I got to head out quickly today.
Okay. Yeah.
But I want to leave with this thought. I was thinking about this last few days. Estate planning, right?
Uh-huh.
When you pass, you don't want to go through probate and all that kind of stuff. Here's the beauty about, and we'll just leave this thought. People can dwell on it and think about it. The beauty with a wallet, whoever holds the password owns that wallet, right?
Right.
So you just, like with me, I share my password with my kids. When I'm gone, that wallet's still there. The wallet didn't die. The password didn't die. They know the password. Boom. You know what I mean? They're controlling the asset. Awesome. Yeah. No inheritance or whatever. It doesn't change ownership. It stays where it is. It's to me, that's a beautiful thing as far as in that realm of the world, that whole probate and estate planning part. Absolutely.
It's bad. It's a big important. To protect it once you've got it, right?
Right.
All right, guys, we got to run it short a little bit today, but we will be back tomorrow with some exciting announcements tomorrow morning, I think.
Oh, yeah. Hey, stay tuned. I think we got something dialed in, right?
Yeah, we do. It's going to be fun. All
Cool.
right, Doug, talk to you later.
See ya.